ॐ शिवशक्तिसमारम्भां भास्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मत्श्रीनाथपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ज्ञानिनामपि चेतांसि देवी भगवती हि सा बलादाकृष्य मोहाय महामाया प्रयच्छति दुर्गे स्मृता हरसि भीतिमशेषजन्तोः स्वस्ति स्मृता मतिमतीव शुभां ददासि दारिद्र्यदुःखभयहारिणि का त्वदन्या सर्वोपकारकरणाय सदार्द्रचित्ता सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरि नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते शरणागतदीनार्तपरित्राणपरायणे सर्वस्यार्तिहरे देवि नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवि दुर्गे देवि नमोऽस्तु ते रोगानशेषानपहंसि तुष्टारुष्टातु कामान् सकलान् भीष्टान् त्वामाश्रितानां न विपन्नराणां त्वामाश्रिता ह्याश्रयतां प्रयान्ति सर्वाबाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वरि एवमेव त्वया कार्यमस्मद्वैरिविनाशनम् ॐ Okay, we'll do a quick review of chapter 6, I think the first 20 stanzas. Mridulaji, you want to just do the stanzas 1 to 20?
हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। षष्ठोऽध्यायः। ओम ऋषिरुवाच इत्याकर्णवचो देव्यास्तुतो वर्षपूरितः समाचष्टः समागम्य दैत्यराजाय विस्तरात् तस्य तु तस्य तद्वाक्यम् आकर्ण्य सुरराट्ततः सक्रोधः प्रोहदैत्यानाम् अधिपं धूम्रलोचनं
Second
हे
line, second
धूम्र
word, Praha Daityana.
प्राहदैत्यानाम् अधिपं धूम्रलोचनं हे धूम्रलोचनाशुत्वं सुसैन्यपरिवारितः तामानय बलात् केशाकर्षणविह्वला तत्परित्राणदः कश्चित् द्व्यदि वोत्तिष्ठते परः सहन्दव्यो मरो वापि यक्षो गन्धर्व एव वा ऋषिरुवाच तेनाज्ञप्तस्ततः शीघ्रं स दैत्यो धूम्रलोचनः व्यतः षष्ट्वा सहस्राणाम् असुराणां द्रुतं ययौ
Second
स
line, just the first
दृष्ट्वा
two words. Second line, first part. Britash Shashtya. No,
धृतषष्ट्या
Britash.
वृद्धषष्ट्या
Yeah.
thank you स दृष्ट्वा तां ततो देवीं तुहिनाचलस्थितां हो जगादोच्चैः प्रयाहीदि मूलं शुभनिशुम्भयोः न चेत् प्रत्याद्य भवति मद्भर्तारम् उपैष्यति ततो बलान्ययं याम्येष केशाकर्षणविह्वलां देव्य उवाच दैत्येश्वरेण प्रहितो बलवान् बलसमृद्धः बलान्ययसि मामेवं ततः किं ते करोम्यहं ऋषिरुवाच इत्युक्तः सोऽप्यधावत्तदा धावत्ताम् असुरो धूम्रलोचनः हुङ्कारेणैव तं भस्मसा चाकराम्बिका ततः
The last word.
अधक्रुद्धं
Sorry, the last word. Sa Chakarambika Tataha.
सा चकाराम्बिका ततः अतः क्रुद्धं महासैन्यम् असुराणां तथाम्बिका ववर्षः सायकैस्तीक्ष्णैस्तथा शक्तिपरैतैः
Parashvadaihi.
परश्वतैः थैंक यू ततो तुदस्सरः क्रोपात् कृत्वा नादं सुभैरवं पपातासुरसेनायां सिंहो देव्या स्ववाहनः कांश्चित् करप्रहारेण दैत्यानास्येन चापरान् आक्रम्यच्चादरेणान्यान् सचखान महासुरान् केषाञ्चित् पाडयामास नखै कोष्ठानि केसरी तथा तलप्रहारेण शिरांसि कृतवान् पृथक् विच्छिन्न बाहुशिरस्कृतास्तेन तथा परे अपौच रुधिरं कोष्ठात् अन्वेषां दूतकेसर धृत is it Drita or Duda?
Dhuta Kesaraha.
Dudakesarah, thank you. Shanena tadbalam sarvam kshayam netam mahatmana तेन केसरिणा देव्या वाहनेनातिकोपिना श्रुत्वा तम् असुरं देव्या निहतं धूम्रलोचनं बलं चक्षयितं कृत्स्नं देवी केसरिणा ततः.
I think that's the next one. Yeah. All right. So I know I have to still say the meaning for the sixth chapter. So I'll kind of finish that. It's a small chapter, and then we'll finish the rest of the sixth one. So in just to recap, because we had a break last week, right? So in the fifth chapter, right, we saw how Shumbha and Nishumbha had come and taken over everything. So the Devas do a stuti, which is a Namastasya, Namastasya, which we did. So at the time, then the Devas, when they went in, and then they go to the Himalayas, and there they see this Parvati, who, out of whose kosha, out of whose layer comes another Devi. So her name becomes Kaushiki, right? Because she comes from the kosha. And then she was extremely beautiful. So when they kind of looked at it, one of the messengers of Shumbha and Nishumbha who came there looked at and said, Shumbha and Nishumba have everything in this world, and she is also the jewel of all the women. So they felt that Shumbha and Nishumba need to have them. So with that, they sent a messenger. They go tell Shumbha and Nishumba. Shumbha and Nishumba sent a messenger called Sugriva, who goes to this Kaushiki and says that, oh, here are all the greatness of Shumbha and Nishumba. They possess everything, and you are also so beautiful. So you need to get the best. So the best person available is either you pick Shumbha or you pick the brother Nishumbha. That was the Sugriva, who's the messenger, tells Kaushiki. So at that time, Kaushiki tells the messenger that unfortunately I've taken a vow that whoever conquers me in battle, whoever can defeat my pride in a battle and is equal or greater to me in strength, is the only person who can actually marry me. So she says that is I can't help. That is what it is. Anyway, so with that, Sugriva goes and tells things. So with this, Sugriva returns to the Daityas, returns to Shumbha, and says everything in detail. So on hearing this, Shumbha is like, he gets very enraged because he cannot believe that, a woman who's standing there is actually coming and saying such things to Shumbha and Nishumba. So he then calls his chief, one of the chief, what do you call the army commander or whatever, called Dhumra Lochana. So Dhumra means smoke. Right. So Lochana, so anything, this is all the illusion. So Dhumra Lochana refers to the illusion that covers our eyes. Because of all the illusion of the smoke that is there, you are not able to truly see what is actually out there. And so we are all stuck in this, right? So Dhumra Lochana, that's a significance. So he tells Dhumra Lochana that go with a big army and then go bring that woman, right? Bring her by force because she refuses to come when we go and ask her in a nice way. So again, he, like he says in the beginning here, it will say, which one stanza? I'm trying to see its exact stanza. Anyway, he'd say, grab her by the hair and then drag her and come, right? Because she doesn't seem to listen to when we say nice way. So drag her and come. So with that Dhumra Lochana, he then goes there. And then he goes with Shashtya Sahasrana, with 60,000 people, Asuras. This Dhumra Lochana goes there because to go and defeat her and then bring her back. So he then comes there, he sees Devi standing there, and then he goes and tells Devi, I am Dhumra Lochana, I am the chief commander who has actually come here, and I'm here to take you because Shumbha and Nishumba wants. And he says, if you do not come, I have all the authority to drag you, and then we can be kicking and screaming, and we're just going to drag you and bring. So that's what Dhumra Lochana says. So Devi then says, you know what, you are the lord of Daityas, Shumbha, Nishumba have sent you. You have come with 60,000 people, right? So he says, if you want to take me by force, what can I do? I can't do anything. I'm helpless because you're 60,000 people. He says, so be it, right? Come and drag me. Come and take me because you have all the army and everyone who's actually there. So with that, when Dhumra Lochana rushes at her. So that's where in that stanza 13, it says, Humkare naiva thambhasma sachakara ambika tataha. So it says that Ambika, who is the Kaushiki, she's just spells the word hum. So the hum is like one of the Bija mantras. So with that sound that is actually coming from Devi, the Dhumra Lochana immediately turns into ashes. Right. So that's why when we kind of do the Matruka Nyasa, Sagita, when we did the Aim Hrim Klim Chamundhaye Viche with Im, Im, some all of those are Bija mantras which are embedded with so much power that all Devi had to do was she had to emit the sound hum because that sound had enough potency that it could actually burn, and she's going to do it with a few more people. So it's a very some vibration is there in that. So with that, she emits that sound, and just with that sound, Dhumra Lochana is then burnt into ashes. So he's immediately gotten rid of. There is no battle for Dhumra Lochana. So, but however, the rest of the army who's there, who's actually throwing all kinds of stuff, right? It says they throw all kinds of missiles and everything, and then all this army comes to fight, but the lion, which is also there, Devi's lion, it also gets into the battle. It starts beating all these people up. It starts tearing them apart because it's got a claw, right? It starts ripping them everything up. And then with that lion also gets rid of everything. So when this happens, the rest of the people who are there just run back to Nishumba. So when they go and tell Nishumba that your great Dhumra Lochana is instantly eradicated, and the 60,000 people army who sent, the Devi along with a lion got rid of everybody else. Right. So when that happens, Nishumba now begin to worry that this is not an ordinary person. So they then call on two important people. They say Chanda and Munda, two other people he calls towards the end of this chapter. He says, Chanda and Munda, you go. And they go with like next chapter, it's going to come. They go with like thousands and thousands of armies and everything else. So he says, Chanda and Munda, you go. And again, he says the same thing. He says that, don't treat her like a normal person. He says, you just tie her up, grab her by the hair, and just bring her. And if anybody tries to stop you along the way, no matter what devas or whoever it is, just get rid of them, right? Because right now, Shumba and Nishumba are just absolutely panicking and terrified, saying that how can she get rid of Dhumra Lochana and 60,000? So that's what this chapter comes to an end, which is the Dhumra Lochana Vadaha, that she gets rid of the Dhumra Lochana. Okay, so we'll start from 21. Harish, you can be student, and Kavita, you can be student. 21. Chukopa Daityadi Patihi, put a ish, patish, Shumbhaha, put a f, Shumbhaf, Praspurita Dharaha, Agnyapayamasa Chata Chatau, Chanda Mundau Mahasura. So here is where he's calling on Chanda and Munda, because the previous one, Shrutva Tamasuram. Shrutva is to hear. So by hearing from Dhumra, from the people, the Dhumra Lochana is gone. He is now calling on Chanda and Munda. चुकोपदैत्याधिपतिः शुम्भः प्रस्फुरिताधरः आज्ञापयामास चतौ चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ.
चुकोपदैत्याधिपतिः शुम्भः प्रस्फुरिताधरः आज्ञापयामास च तौ चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ. चुकोपदैत्याधिपतिः शुम्भः प्रस्फुरिताधरः आज्ञापयामास च तौ चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ.
चुकोपतैत्याधिपतिश्चुम्बः प्रस्फुरितातरः आज्ञापयामास च तौ चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ. चुकोपतैत्याधिपतिश्चुम्बः प्रस्फुरितातरः आज्ञापयामास च तौ चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ.
Kavita, on the second line, first word, it's a nya sound. Agnya.
आज्ञापयामास च.
You're saying anya, I'm hearing. It's agnya, is ig
आज्ञा
sound. It's an ig sound also.
आज्ञापयामास च तौ चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ.
He Chanda, he Munda Balair, Bahubihi, put a F, Bahubif, Parivaritau, Tatra Gachata Gatvacha सा समानीयतां लघु हे चण्ड हे मुण्ड बलैर्बहुभिः परिवारितौ तत्र गच्छत गत्वा च सा समानीयतां लघु
हे चण्ड हे मुण्डबलैर्बहुभिः परिवारितौ तत्र गच्छत गत्वा च सा समानीयतां लघु हे चण्ड हे मुण्डबलैर्बहुभिः परिवारितौ तत्र गच्छत गत्वा च सा समानीयतां लघु
हे हे चण्ड हे मुण्ड बलैर्बहुभिः परिवारितौ तत्र गच्छत गत्वा च सासमनीयतां लघु
सा
हे
समानीयता the a sound
सासमानीयतां लघु हे चण्ड हे मुण्ड बलैर्बहुभिः परिवारितौ तत्र गच्छत गत्वा च सासमनीयतां लघु
you can say the sa saman a sound
सासमानीयतां लघु
yeah kesheshwa krishya so here kesha refers to the hair so kesheshwa krishya badva va yadi vaha put is yadi vas samshayo yudhi तथा शेषा yudhaihi put is yudhais sarvair so I'm just breaking at that ra that is there you break properly sarvair asurair vinihanyata केशेष्वाकृष्य भद्वा वा यदि वः संशयो युधि तथा शेषा युधैः सर्वैर् असुरैर्विनिहन्यताम्
केशेष्वाकृष्य बद्ध्वा वा यदि वः संशयो युधि तदा शेषायुधैः सर्वैरसुरैर्विनिहन्यताम् It's हन्यताम् or हन्वताम्
हन्यताम् विनिहन्यताम्
Vinihanyataam. Sorry, it's just in the script. It's slightly not. I can't make out if it's curved or
okay
flat. Sorry about that. Kesheshwa krishya badhva va yadiva samshayo yudhi tada shesha yudhai sarvair asurair vinihanyatam.
केशेष्वाकृष्य बद्ध्वा वा यदि वः संशयो युति तदा शेषायुधैः सर्वैरसुरैर्विनिहन्यताम् केशेष्वाकृष्य बद्ध्वा वा यदि वः संशयो युति तदा शेषायुधैः सर्वैरसुरैर्विनिहन्यताम्
तस्यां हतायां दुष्टायां सिंहे च विनिपातिते शीघ्रं ब्रेकिंग एट दैट मा शीघ्रं आगम्यतां बद्ध्वा गृहीत्वा ताम थाम्बिकाम् so he also says not just that woman who is there right you know the also the lion which is the lion also has been going and getting rid of all the army so both of them the woman and the lion you bind them and then come you know shigram come as soon as possible capture both of them and come here तस्यां हतायां दुष्टायां सिंहे च विनिपातिते शीघ्रमागम्यतां बद्ध्वा गृहीत्वा तामताम्बिकाम् ॐ
तस्यां हतायां दुष्टायां सिंहे च विनिपातिते शीघ्रम् आगम्यतां बद्ध्वा गृहीत्वा तामथाम्बिकाम् ॐ तस्यां हतायां दुष्टायां सिंहे च विनिपातिते शीघ्रम् आगम्यतां बद्ध्वा गृहीत्वा तामथाम्बिकाम् ॐ
तस्यां हतायां दुष्टायां सिंहे च विनिपातिते शीघ्रमागम्यतां बद्ध्वा गृहीत्वा तामदाम्बिकाम् ॐ तस्यां हतायां दुष्टायां सिंहे च विनिपातिते शीघ्रमागम्य धां बद्ध्वा गृहीत्वा तामदाम्बिकाम् ॐ
सत्या सन्तु यजमानस्य कामाः नमो देव्यै महादेव्यै शिवायै सततं नमः नमः प्रकृत्यै भद्रायै नियताः प्रणतास्मतां साङ्गायै सायुधायै सपरिवारायै सर्वात्मिकायै शताक्ष्यै धूम्राक्ष्यै नमः
सत्याः सन्तु यजमानस्य कामाः ॐ नमो I have Om there. That's okay,
That's
right?
okay. We just, yeah.
ॐ नमो देव्यै महादेव्यै शिवायै सततं नमः नमः प्रकृत्यै भद्रायै नियताः प्रणताः स्मताम् साङ्गायै सायुधायै सपरिवारायै सर्वात्मिकायै शताक्ष्यै धूमोक्ष्यै नमः
धूम्राक्ष्यै.
धूम्राक्ष्यै नमः सत्या सन्तु
So one tempo,
यजमानस्य
one tempo. One tempo.
Oh, one minute. Okay.
सत्या सन्तु यजमानस्य कामाः नमो देव्यै महादेव्यै शिवायै सततं नमः नमः प्रकृत्यै भद्रायै नियताः प्रणताः स्मताम् साङ्गायै सायुधायै सपरिवारायै सर्वात्मिकायै सदाक्ष्यै धूम्राक्ष्यै नमः
Chapter 7, Chanda Munda Vadaha. So this chapter from 5 towards the end, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Until 10 is only in 9. And so the way it goes is 5, Devas go pray. 6, the first one, Dhumra Lochana comes. So he's gotten rid in 6. In 7, Chanda and Munda are gotten rid of. Then in 8 is Rakta Bija is gotten rid in 8. 9 is Nishumbha and 10 is Shumbha, right? That's how each of them. So, and when it goes through this, and you may want to write it down at some point and keep this, from that original Devi, Parvati, who they saw, this Kaushiki came, from each of them, multiple other Devis are going to keep coming. So it's going to keep building on each of those. Okay, so but the original one that was there, from whom this Kaushiki came, now all of them, in this, one more person is going to come. Then in 8, multiple people are going to come, multiple Devis are going to come. So all the Devi names you would have heard are all going to start coming, but they're all coming from that one person, right? So you have to just keep track of in which chapter who is coming, but that's the sequence of how things are going to go. So till the end of 10th is getting rid of Shumbha and Nishumbha. And then 11th is just a prayer, a stuti for getting rid of it. 12 is Palastuti. So that's how this comes to an end. And we'll go a little bit and then I'll tell the meaning. Om Rishiru Vacha Agnyapthaste Tato Daityash Ish Chanda Munda Purogamaha Chaturanga Balopeta Yayurab Yudhyatayudaha. Let's say that word together. Yayurab Yudhyatayudaha. Om Rishirhuvacha Agnyaptaste Tato Daityashchanda Munda Purogamaha Chaturanga Balopeta Yayurab Yudhyatayudaha.
ॐ ऋषिरुवाच आज्ञप्तास्ते ततो चण्डमुण्डपुरोगमाः चतुरङ्गबलोपेता ययुरभ्युद्यतायुधाः ॐ ऋषिरुवाच आज्ञप्तास्ते ततो दैत्याश्चण्डमुण्डपुरोगमाः चतुरङ्गबलोपेता ययुरभ्युद्यतायुधाः
ॐ ऋषिर्वाच आज्ञप्तास्ते तदो दैत्याश्चण्डमुण्डपुरोगमाः चतुरङ्गबलोपेता ययुरभ्युद्यतायुधाः आज्ञप्तास्ते तदो दैत्याश्चण्डमुण्डपुरोगमाः चतुरङ्गबलोपेता ययुरभ्युद्यतायुधाः
Dadrushruste Tato Devim, breaking at Dadma, Devim, Ishadhasam Vyavasthitam, Simhasyopari Shailendra Shringe Mahati Kanchane. ददृशुस्ते ततो देवीम् ईषद्धासां व्यवस्थितां सिंहस्योपरि शैलेन्द्रशृङ्गे महति काञ्चने
ददृशुस्ते ततो देवीम् ईषद्धासां व्यवस्थितां सिंहस्योपरि शृङ्गे महति काञ्चने ददृशुस्ते ततो देवीम् ईषद्दासां व्यवस्थितां सिंहस्योपरि शैलेन्द्रशृङ्गे महति काञ्चने
तदृशुस्ते तदो देवीम् ईषत्तासां व्यवस्थितां सिंहस्योपरि शैलेन्द्रशृङ्गे महति काञ्चने तदृशुस्ते तदो देवीम् ईषत्तासां व्यवस्थितां सिंहस्योपरि शैलेन्द्रशृङ्गे महति काञ्चने
ते दृष्ट्वा तां समादातुं ब्रेकिंग एट दट मा समादातुं उद्यमं चक्रुरुध्यताः आकृष्ट चापासिधरास् one word चापासिधरास् इस् तथान्ये तत् समीपगाः ते दृष्ट्वा तां समादातुम् उद्यमं चक्रुरुध्यताः आकृष्टचापासिधरास् तथान्ये तत् समीपगाः
ते दृष्ट्वा तां समादातुम् उद्यमं चक्रुरुद्यताः आकृष्टचापासिधरास्तथान्ये तत्समीपगाः ते दृष्ट्वा तां समाधातुम् उद्यमं चक्रुरुद्यताः आकृष्टचापासिधरास्तथान्ये तत्समीपगाः
ते दृष्ट्वा तां समादातुम् उद्यमं चक्रुरुद्यताः आकृष्टचापासितरास्तथान्ये तत्समीपगाः ते दृष्ट्वा तां समादातुम् उद्यमं चक्रुरुद्यताः आकृष्टचापासितरास्तथान्ये तत्समीपगाः
ततः पुट इह ततः कोपं चकारोच्चैर ir, so we're going to double ch and we're going to break it that rather chakarochair. Next word starts with the a. Ambika tanarin prati kopena chasya vadanam mashivarnama bhuttada. Mashivarnama bhuttada. ततः कोपं चकारोच्चैर अंबिका तानरीं प्रति कोपेन चास्या वदनं मशीवर्णमभूत्तदा
ततः कोपं चकारोच्चैरम्बिका तानरीन् प्रति कोपेन चास्या वदनं मषिवर्णमभूत्तथा ततः कोपं चकारोच्चैरम्बिका तानरीन् प्रति कोपेन चास्या वदनं मषिवर्णमभूत्तथा
and the mashi vandu is a long e, so
मषीवर्णमभूत्तथा
ततः कोपं चकारोच्चैरम्बिकाधानरीन् प्रति कोपेन चास्यावदनं मषीवर्णम् अभूत्तदा ततः कोपं चकारोच्चैरम्बिकाधानरीन् प्रति कोपेन चास्यावदनं मषीवर्णम् अभूत्तदा
भ्रुकुटी long e भ्रुकुटी कुटिलात् तस्या ललाट फलकाद् द्रुतं double the फलकाद् द्रुतं काली कराल वदना विनिष्क्रांतासि short e विनिष्क्रांतासि पाशिनी long e भ्रुकुटी कुटिलात् तस्या ललाट फलकाद् द्रुतं काली कराल वदना विनिष्क्रांतासि पाशिनी
भ्रुकुटीकुटिलात्तस्य ललाटफलकाद्रुतं कालीकरालवदना विनिष्क्रान्तासिपाशिनी भ्रुकुटीकुटिलात्तस्य ललाटफलकाद्रुतं कालीकरालवदना विनिष्क्रान्तासिपाशिनी
भ्रुकुटीकुटिलात्तस्या ललाटपलकातृतं काळीकरालवदना विनिष्क्रान्तासि पाशिनी
Kavita, the
भ्रुकु
second line, first word, and the lee when the long e first. Second one, and it's just like I said last time, it's like not the la, just a regular la. Kali, Karala, Vadana.
भ्रुकुटीकुटिलात्तस्या ललाटपलकातृतं काळीकरालवदना विनिष्क्रान्तासि पाशिनी
Vichitra, Khadvangadhara, Nara, Mala, Vibhushana, Dvipi, Charma, Paridhanha, Shushka, Mamsati, Bhairava. So the beautiful, the next 6, 7, 8 are describing the Kali who's coming, which I will explain in a minute. Vichitra Khadvangadhara Naramala Vibhushana Dvipi Charma Paridhana Shushka Mamsati Bhairava.
विचित्रखड्वाङ्गधरा नरमाला विभूषणा द्वीपिचर्मपरीधाना शुष्कमांसातिभे भैरवा विचित्रखड्वाङ्गधरा नरमाला विभूषणा द्वीपिचर्मपरीधाना शुष्कमांसातिभैरवा
विचित्रकट्वाङ्कतरा नरमाला विभूषणा द्वीपि चर्मपरीदाना शुष्कमांसादिभैरवा विचित्रकट्वाङ्कतरा नरमाला विभूषणा द्वीपि चर्मपरीदाना शुष्कमांसादिभैरवा
Ati Bistara Vadana Jihva Lalana Bhishana Nimagna Rakta, because you'll have the double S symbol coming there. Nimagna Rakta Nayana Nada Purita Ding Mukha. Ing sound Ding Mukha. Ati Vistara Vadana Jihva Lalana Bhishana Nimagna Rakta Nayana Nada Purita Ding Mukha.
अतिविस्तारवदना जिह्वा ललनभीषणा निमग्ना रक्तनयना नादापूरितदिङ्मुखा अधिविस्तारवदना जिह्वा ललनभीषणा निमग्ना रक्तनयना नादापूरितदिङ्मुखा
अतिविस्तारवदना जिह्वा ललनभीषणा निमग्ना रक्तनयना नादा भूरितदिङ्मुखा अतिविस्तारवदना जिह्वा ललनभीषणा निमग्ना रक्तनयना नादा भूरितदिङ्मुखा.
We'll pause here. I'm just going to go through maybe half of the meaning of chapter 7. So, the previous chapter, he tells Chanda and Munda, Shumba tells Chanda and Munda that you both go, right? And get the lion, get the Devi, tie them up. Doesn't matter who comes to stop, we just come. So, this Chanda and Munda, they go with Chaturanga, means it is like the 4 parts of the cavalry that actually goes there, right? So if you think of it's like, whether it be elephants, horses, infantry, whatever, the 4 categories, right? So everybody is actually going there. And they go, and then they see that this Devi who they want to go bring is sitting on top of that mountain, right? She's just waiting for them there in the line. So with them, they all kind of rush. The entire army and the entire chariot, everything rushes towards her. So at that time, this Devi, this one Devi who's there is being referred in 3 different ways. One, she's Kaushiki, because she came from the Kosha. She's also referred to as Chandika. She's also referred to as Ambika. So all the 3 refers to the same person who is actually there. That's why when you see the word Chambika, means Cha Ambika. So it refers to that one Devi. So that Ambika, she actually is crying out in anger. When I say crying out, it's not crying. That anger, she's actually yelling, right? And in that anger, what happens is her face actually turns very black with anger. So that's why it says there, Mashi Varnama Bhutada. Mashi refers to black ink. So it turns black like a black ink. So with that, when her face gets very angry and turns very thing like that, then from her, so when you get angry, your eyebrows scroll, they kind of go down and they meet, right? So when that happens, from that eyebrows comes another person. So that person is the who's called as the Kali. The Kali who we're going to talk about is who emerges out of this Ambika when she's actually getting very angry, and from her eyebrows, this Kali comes. So this Kali who's actually coming there, it talks about her description, right? So she's Vichitra Khadvangadara. So she's having a very unique staff, which is like whatever they hold in their hand, right? The staff to beat. That staff has got a Khadvangadara, has got a skull on the top of the staff, right? So Vichitra Khadvangadara. She's got a khadgam, she's got a sword, and she's got a noose. And then Naramala Vibhushana. She's actually wearing a mala, a garland of skulls, right? You've seen the picture of Kali. So there's actually literally describing that how this Kali is coming about, right? Who you see in all these images, right? So she's wearing this Naramala Vibhushana. She's actually clad in a tiger skin. No, the cloth she's wearing is from a tiger skin. And then in terms of her looks, right, which Ati Vistara Vadana means, Vadana is mouth. Vistara Vadana means her mouth is very wide and gaping mouth, because literally what she's going to do, she's going to eat everybody off, right? She's got a very wide mouth. And Jihva refers to tongue. Jihva Lalana Bhishana means the rolling tongue that she has is very frightening. Like, when we saw the Narasimha description in RNM in 25, very similar to that. Very scary looking person who's actually coming there. Jihva Lalana Bhishana. Our tongue is also rolling and very frightening. Then Nimagna Rakta Nayana. Arakta Nayana means extremely red eyes. So swollen eyes, which are actually completely red in color. And then it also talks about how Shushka Mamsati Bhairava means, if you look at, even when we talked about Narasimha Avataram, we talked about how the skin, the jaw of the lion that was there, it is something which actually causes fear. One is it is a little bit sagging. So her face is a little bit sagging because she looks as if she's emancipated, which means she's not been eating. Somebody who's starving for a really long time, the skin starts sagging and they're very lean. That's how she's looking, right? She looks extremely weak. She looks extremely thin, and as if she's suffering from malnutrition, right? That's how she looks. But then it's a very frightful face that she's actually having. So with this Kali is coming with a very frightful face. She has a staff, she's having the Naramala, and then her tongue is actually, rolling, and her eyes are red, and she presents this extremely Ghoram form, right, in front of the army and everybody who's actually coming, right? So from Parvati's Kosha came Kaushiki, and from this Kaushiki's Bhruvor, from her eyebrows, came this Kali. So when this Kali is now coming, this entire army is now coming to fight with her, right? So they are throwing everything that she can. But again, what she's able to do is she's able to just grab all of them, and this Kali just eats everybody. What it is trying to say here, right, is that by eating, essentially what it is trying to say here is, any issues, any problems that actually come, Devi can just devour that. It is absolutely not a big deal. So she doesn't even wait. She doesn't even fight in this case. So here it talks about how, like somebody is throwing some missile, somebody is throwing some weapon, and whatever people send, she's able to put it into her mouth and literally chews everything off. Right? So whether it be the weapons they are throwing or whether it be the Daityas who are actually coming, she's essentially grabbing everybody and then she's just chewing and eating everybody off. And then she has this skull-topped staff with which she actually beats everybody out as well. So with this, she essentially gets rid of the entire army and the Chaturanga, the entire cavalry and everything that is actually coming. She gets rid of it by just consuming everybody off. So with this, when Chanda and Munda actually sees that, so what they start doing is they start throwing all these chakram, they start throwing discuses towards Kali, multiple of those, but she doesn't care. Anything that comes, she's in such a form like how Narasimha was, that she just laughs out loud, grabs all those, and just consumes all of those discusses also. So we'll stop here. That kind of goes halfway. So essentially, she's just consuming whatever is coming her way. Okay. Okay, so we'll start from 9, right? Okay. Vikram, you can be a student, and Mrinalini, you can be a student. Sa वेघेनाभि पतिता घातयन्ती महासुरान् सैन्ये तत्र सुरारीणाम, break it at that ma, सुरारीणाम abhakshayat tadbalam. Abhakshayat means to consume, to eat everything off. सा वेघेनाभिपतिता घातयन्ती महासुरान् सैन्ये तत्र सुरारीणाम् अभक्षयत तद्बलम्.
सा वेगेनाभिपतिता घातयन्ति महासुरान् सैन्ये तत्र सुरारीणाम् अभक्षयत तद्बलाम् सा
Tadbalam.
वेग
Last
तद्बलम्
tadbalam.
sorry तद्बलम् सा वेगेनाभिपतिता घातयन्ति महासुरान् सैन्ये तत्र सुरारीणाम् अभक्षयत तद्बलम्
सा वेगेनाभिपतिता घातयन्ती महासुरान् सैन्ये तत्र सुरारीणाम् अभक्षयत तद्बलम् सा वेगेनाभिपतिता घातयन्ती महासुरान् सैन्ये तत्र सुरारीणाम् अभक्षयत तद्बलम्.
Next to is a long line there. Parshni grahang, ing on grahang, kusha grahi yodha ghanta samanvitan samadayika hastena mukhe chikshepa varanan. पार्ष्णिग्राहाङ्कुशग्राहि योधगण्ठासमन्वितान् समादायैकहस्तेन मुखे चिक्षेपवारणान्.
पार्ष्णिग्राहाङ्कुशग्राहि योधगण्ठासमन्वितान् समादायैकहस्तेन मुखे चिक्षेपवारणान् पार्ष्णिग्राहाङ्कुशग्राहि योधघण्टसमन्वितान् समादायैकहस्तेन मुखे चिक्षेपवारणान्
पार्ष्णिग्राहाङ्कुशग्राहि योधघण्टा समन्वितान् समादायैकहस्तेन मुखे चिक्षेपवारणान् पार्ष्णिग्राहङ्कुशग्राहि योधघण्टा समन्वितान् समादायैकहस्तेन मुखे चिक्षेपवारणान्.
तथैव योद्धं तुरगै रथं सारथिना सह निक्षिप्य वक्त्रे दशनैः इष शर्वयन्त्यति भैरवम्. तथैव योद्धं तुरगै रथं सारथिना सह निक्षिप्य वक्त्रे दशनैः शर्वयन्त्यति भैरवम्.
तथैव योद्धं तुरगैरथं सारथिना सह निक्षिप्य वक्त्रे दशनैश्चर्वयन्त्यतिभैरवम् तथैव योद्धं तुरगैरथं सारथिना सह निक्षिप्य वक्त्रे दशनैश्चर्वयन्त्यतिभैरवम्
Last word. Charvayantyati bhairavam.
चर्वयन्त्यतिभैरवम्
तथैव योद्धं तुरगैरथं सारथिना सह निक्षिप्य वक्त्रे दशनैश्चर्वयन्त्यति भैरवम् तथैव योद्धं तुरगैरथं सारथिना सह निक्षिप्य वक्त्रे दशनैश्चर्वयन्त्यति भैरवम्.
एकं जग्राह केशेषु ग्रीवायामथ चापरम् Padena Kramya Chaivanyam. Put the mu that is there, we're going to break it. Chaivanyam. Next starts with the u. Urasanyam Apothayate. This just again just talks about the war. And look, we saw in Keelakam, if you remember, long time back when we did the Argalam Keelakam, that Keelakam, where Shiva Vacha, Shiva says that while all this talks about the battle that is actually going to be there, in each of the shloka, we are pinned in that supreme goddess in it. So that even when you talk about the war, you are not talking about the war, you are actually praying the supreme deity, right? So that's why, like, this is all of this is a description of the war. It just talks about how some she's holding by the kesha, she's holding by the hair, some she's holding by her griva, by the neck, some padena, she's stamping on them, breaking them with her feet, and other urasa, she's beating against her chest. So with this, she's fighting against all these different people and then just consuming all of them. Ekam jagraha keseshu grivayamata chaparam padhenakramya chaivanyam urasanyam apotayate.
एकं जग्राह केशेषु ग्रीवायामथ चापरं पादेनाक्रम्य चैवान्यम् उरसान्यमपोथयत् एकं जग्राह केशेषु ग्रीवायामथ चापरं पादेनाक्रम्य चैवान्यम् उरसान्यमपोथयत्
एकं जग्राह केशेषु ग्रीवायामथ चापरं पादेनाक्रम्य चैवान्यम् उरसान्यमपोथयत् एकं जग्राह केशेषु ग्रीवायामथ चापरं पादेनाक्रम्य चैवान्यम् उरसान्यमपोथयत्
Thair muktani cha shastrani mahastrani tathasuraihi mukhena jagraha rusha dashanair mathitanyapi. तैर्मुक्तानि च शस्त्राणि महास्त्राणि तथा सुरैः मुखेन जग्राह रुषा दशनैर्मथितान्यपि.
तैर्मुक्तानि च शस्त्राणि महास्त्राणि तथासुरैः मुखेन जग्राहरुषा दशनैर्मथितान्यपि तैर्मुक्तानि च शस्त्राणि महास्त्राणि तथासुरैः मुखेन जग्राहरुषा दशनैर्मथितान्यपि
तैर्मुक्तानि च शस्त्राणि महास्त्राणि तथासुरैः मुखेन जग्राहरुषा दशनैर्मथितान्यपि तैर्मुक्तानि च शस्त्राणि महास्त्राणि तथासुरैः मुखेन जग्राहरुषा दशनैर्मथितान्यपि
Balinam tad balam sarvam, break at that im sarvam, asuranam duratmanam mamardha bhakshayach, okay, ich bhakshayach chanya nanyam, kind of cannot break that word exactly there. So chanya nanyam ish chatada yat tatha. It's a long word, difficult to break it. So you kind of, as much as possible, just try to say it together. So mamardha bhakshayach chanya nanyamsh chatadayat tatha. Balinam tad balham sarvam asuranam duratmanam mamardha bhakshayach chanya nanyamsh chatadayat tatha.
बलिनां तद्बलं सर्वम् असुराणां दुरात्मनां ममर्दा भक्ष्ययश्चान्यानन्याश्चाताडयत्तथा बलिनां तद्बलं सर्वम् असुराणां दुरात्मनां ममर्दा भक्ष्ययश्चान्यानन्याश्चाताडयत्तथा
बलिनां तत्बलं सर्वम् असुराणां दुरात्मनां ममर्था भक्षयच्चान्यानन्यांश्चाताडयत्तदा बलिनां तद्बलं सर्वम् असुराणां दुरात्मनां ममर्था भक्षयच्चान्यानन्यांश्चाताडयत्तथा
Asina nihataha. Put ih. Nihatah kechit. Kechit khadvanga thaditaha. Jagmur, ir sound, Jagmur, Vinasham Asura, Dantagra Bihathas, one word. So Dantagra Bihathas Tatha. Asinha Nihatah Kechit, Kechit Khadvanga Taditaha, Jagmur Vinasham Asura, Dantagra Bihathas Tatha.
असिना निहताः केचित् खड्वाङ्गताडिताः जग्मुर्विनाशमसुरा दन्ताग्राभिहतास्तथा असिना निहताः केचित् खड्वाङ्गताडिताः जग्मुर्विनाशमसुरा दन्ताग्राभिहतास्तथा
असिना निहताः केचित् खट्वाङ्गताडिताः जग्मुर्विनाशमसुरा दन्ताग्राभिहतास्तथा
That second line,
असिना
first word, you can break it that im if you want. Jagmur Vinasham Asura.
असिना निहताः केचित् खट्वाङ्गताडिताः जग्मुर्विनाशम् असुरा दन्ताग्राभिहतास्तथा
Kshanena Tad Balam Sarvam, breaking at that ma, Sarvam, Asuranam Nipatitam, Drishtva Chandobidudrava, one word, Tam Kalim, break at that ma, Ati Bhishanam. क्षणेन तद्बलं सर्वम् असुराणां निपातितं दृष्ट्वा चण्डोभिदुद्रावतां कालीम् अतिभीषणाम्
क्षणेन तद्बलं सर्वम् असुराणां निपातितं दृष्ट्वा चण्डोभिद्रुद्रावतां भीषणाम् क्षणेन तद्बलं सर्वम् असुराणां निपातितं दृष्ट्वा चण्डोभिदुद्रावतां कालीमतिभीषणाम्
क्षणेन तद्बलं सर्वम् असुराणां निपातितं दृष्ट्वा चण्डोभिदुद्रावतां कालीम् अतिभीषणाम्
The last word, kalim, long e.
कालीम् क्षणेन तत्फलं सर्वम् असुराणां निपातितं दृष्ट्वा चण्डोभिदुद्रावतां कालीम् अतिभीषणाम्
Shara Varshair Maha Bhimair Bhimakshim Tam Mahasuraha Chadayamasa Chakraischa Mundaha. Say that Visarga. Mundaha Kshiptaihi. Put the is Shiptais Sahasrashaha. Sahasrashaha. Thousands. He's saying Shara Varshai. Sharam is like a fury of arrows. Shara like a rain. It's raining arrows. So he's saying thousands of he sends raining arrows as well as Chakraihi, as well as discuses that he is actually sending. Mundaha. Munda is sending all of that towards Devi. शरवर्षैर्महाभीमैर्भीमाक्षीं तां महासुरः छादयामास चक्रैश्च मुण्डः क्षिप्तैः सहस्रशः
शरवर्षैर्महाभीमैर्भीमाक्षीं तां महासुरः छादयामास चक्रैश्च मुण्डः क्षिप्तैः सहस्रशः शरवर्षैर्महाभीमैर्भीमाक्षीं तां महासुरः छादयामास चक्रैश्च मुण्डः क्षिप्तैः सहस्रशः
शरवर्षैर्महाभीमैर्भीमाक्षीं तां महासुरः छादयामास चक्रैश्च मुण्डः क्षिप्रतैः सहस्रशः
Kshiptais.
क्षिप्तैः
Yeah.
शरवर्षैर्महाभीमैर्भीमाक्षीं तां महासुरः छादयामास चक्रैश्च मुण्डः क्षिप्तैः सहस्रशः
तानि चक्राण्यनेकानि विशमानानि तन्मुखं बभुर्यथार्क बिम्बानि, all short is, subahuni ghanodharam. Says all these chakrani, all those discussions which are there are tanmukham, are all just entering into her mouth. She's consuming it, just like how when there's a very thick ghanodharam, when there's a thick clouds, black clouds which are there, any sunlight it gets consumed by the thick clouds. We cannot see her through it. Similarly, she's just consuming all the discussions and all these shastrams which are coming from Munda. तानि चक्राण्यनेकानि विशमानानि तन्मुखं बभुर्यतार्कबिम्बानि सुबहूनि घनोदरम्.
तानि चक्राण्यनेकानि विशमानानि तन्मुखं बभूर्यथार्कबिम्बानि सुबहूनि घनोदरम् तानि चक्राण्यनेकानि विशमानानि तन्मुखं बभूर्यथार्कबिम्बानि सुबहूनि घनोदरम्
तानि चक्राण्यनेकानि विशमानानि तन्मुखं बभुर्यथार्कबिम्बानि सुबाहुनि घनोदरम् सुबहूनि घनोदरम् तानि चक्राण्यनेकानि विशमानानि तन्मुखं बभुर्यथार्कबिम्बानि सुबहूनि घनोदरम्.
Do one more. Tato jahasati rusha bhimam bhairava nadini, long e, kali karala vaktrantar ir durdarsha dashanoj jwala. You can break that word to the right place. ततो जहासा तिरुषा भीमं भैरवनाधिनी काली कराल वक्त्रांतर दुर्दर्श दशनोज्ज्वला.
ततो जहासा तिरुषा भीमं भैरवनादिनी काली करालवक्त्रान्तर्दुर्दर्श दशनोज्ज्वला ततो जहासा तिरुषा भीमं भैरवनादिनी काली करालवक्त्रान्तर्दुर्दर्श दशनोज्ज्वला
ततो जहासातिरुषा भीमं भैरवनादिनी काली करालवक्त्रान्तर्दुर्दर्शदशनोज्ज्वला ततो जहासातिरुषा भीमं भैरवनादिनी काली करालवक्त्रान्तर्दुर्दर्शदशनोज्ज्वला.
Stop it today. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you, everybody.
Quick
See you
question.
next week.
Happy New Year,
Question,
Rajashji.
Rajaji.
Go
Thank
ahead,
you so
Harish.
much.
Go ahead, Harish.
What is there a difference between Kali and in popular culture we hear Kali?
Yeah, because the original Sanskrit did not have the la. The Malayalam la was not there. It was just la. So the original scriptures we just have Kali. But then later on in the la, they also had a Sanskrit got that extra la. So in some places they use la, but the original right version of this is Kali, just the regular la.
But now it's interchangeably used, right?
Now people interchange it, but then because the la was introduced later, so I don't know when you use a la versus when you use a la. I don't know when you use it, but the original the scriptures like Kali, just a regular la, not the la.
But there is a difference then.
There is a difference.
So
Yeah, there is some
there's
difference. Yeah,
some difference between when you use it.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, I don't know when you use what, but there is some difference between when you use la versus la.
Thank you.
All right, bye everyone.
Thank you.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year, Rajesh ji.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year.